Antonio, it was an extraordinary day, so many incidents, so much action. Let's start right at the end. Red card, straight red card for both coaches. What caused it to boil over, in your opinion?
No, in my opinion, no. I think in my opinion it's better to talk about the game. And the game was an exciting game and was a difficult game for both teams. But we want to try in every game to be competitive. I think Chelsea showed also today to be a really good team. But maybe compared last season, we did. In my opinion, we did a bit well than last season. Yeah.
I understand you want not necessarily to talk about the red card, but we've already spoken to Thomas Tuchel. He said the problem at the end he felt was you didn't look him in the eye when you shook hands.
No, but I repeat, I don't want to comment the situation because I think this is not the most important thing. And if there is a problem, the problem is between me and him, not for the others.
It looked as though that was the problem because you clashed twice. You were booked the first time, both of you, and the red card. It looks as though there is a problem between you.
Yeah, but I repeat, speak about the game, not about the situation, because we are here to speak about football, not about a situation between the two coaches.
Okay, hear what you say. First goal, when it's zonal marking like that, can you do anything different?
Yeah, for sure we have to try to analyze very well the situation, and because there was a lot of space behind our line. Because we marked the zone and we left a lot of space to attack in a simple way for Koulibaly, no? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. And we have to try to analyze well and to try to find improvement.
They looked as though they were superior in the first half. What did you need to change at half time? What needed to change? What did you...
But for sure, and to come here against Chelsea away, and it's not simple. We are talking about a really good team, and it's normal to come here and to suffer. But at the same time, I think that we created also a situation to stay always into the game. And but the difference is clear because Champions League 2 years ago, World Cup, and the final FA Cup, final Carabao Cup, third place last season. I think there is difference between Chelsea and Tottenham, and I'm not here to discover this, but we want to try to reduce this gap, and we know that we have to work and to try to take time. But at the same time, last season we lost 3 times. Now we do, and a little step forward.
You didn't start with any of the new signings again today. Is there a reason? Is there a thinking behind that?
I try to make the best start 11. There is no reason. I try to make the best start 11.
Lastly, do you think you fully deserved a point today?
But this is your opinion, has to be your judgment, not my judgment. I think that compared last season we did better, but I think that if we want to try to create problems to Chelsea, we have to try to be better.
One last question I must ask you about. They're unhappy with both goals, but they're also unhappy with an incident where Christian Romero seemed to pull the hair of Marc Cucurella. Are you aware of this at all?
I don't know about what you are talking about. The last.
There was an incident just before the penalty. Penalty.
Yeah.
On the corner, it looked like he pulled Cucurella's hair.
Honestly, I didn't see, but there is the VR to analyze the situation, and the VR was very clear, and to continue the game without take a decision.
Appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Sean Wright-Phillips at Stamford Bridge. Right, we've seen an absolute rollercoaster of emotions from the Chelsea manager. I'm assured he has calmed down. So listen up. Here are the post-match thoughts of Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas, an awful lot to ask you about. Let's start with a straight red card at the end. What happened?
Well, I thought when you shake hands, we look into each other's eyes, and Antonio had a different opinion, so it was emotional. He was happy when he equalized. I was then got a bit heated, but nothing big, and I don't know. We both got a red card?
Yeah. Straight red?
Yeah, I think it was not necessary, but a lot of things were not necessary, so another poor decision from the ref today.
You'd clashed earlier on in the game. What was the problem between you on the goal?
No problem.
You clashed and you were both booked beforehand, so there was a problem there.
Yeah, no problem.
That mean you don't want to talk about that one?
No problem. No problem. It's emotional. It's football. You like it. Just don't need comments now and heat it up and heat it up. Just look at it. It's the game. It's Premier League. You love it, no? And we love it. And we're emotional coaches at the sideline. That's it.
Will you try and seek him out and shake hands later today?
If we meet, we meet, and if not, it's not a problem. It's between a football match. Come on, guys. It's between men. It's between two competitors, and nothing bad happened.
What about the game itself? What's your view on that?
We were brilliant. We were absolutely brilliant. Sorry, I have to say, but both goals cannot stand. Absolutely cannot stand. And it's only one team who deserves to win. It's us. We were absolutely brilliant, and I'm sorry for my team that they don't get what they deserve.
What did you object to on both goals? What was your complaint?
First of all, it's a clear foul on Kai Havertz in the build-up. A clear foul. We had one tactical foul from Reece James, got straight yellow. I don't know how many tactical fouls Højbjerg and Bentancur did today. Nothing happened. Clear foul on Kai Havertz. Okay, situation goes on and on and on. Then it's clear offside from Richarlison. He's in the line of the shot. He even goes to the ball. He does not touch the ball. Edu cannot see the ball. They check it. It's clear offside. And since when can we pull hair on a football field? Since when is that? And we check it and nothing happens. We don't need to check anymore. It's ridiculous.
Does that only add to your frustration and feeling hard done by that you were 2-1 with literally moments to go?
It is the frustration. That's the only frustration. I'm the happiest coach on earth because we played a fantastic match. We were absolutely brilliant. We dominated 90 minutes. We were sharp. We were hungry. We were like in all areas of the pitch so disciplined and so full of quality. Like it was a top performance. And I'm sorry for my players.
Why did you take Jorginho off? Was that straight after he tried to do the drag back in the penalty area? Were the two related when they equalised?
Sorry, again?
When you took Jorginho off,
yeah.
Was that because he tried the drag back in the penalty area and they equalised from that? Or was it planned anyway? Were you about to take him off?
No, it had nothing to do with the goal. I mean, it was anyway an offside goal, so how to blame Jorginho for it? No. He was tired. He gave a lot, and I wanted Ruben on the pitch because of his legs and his height. And we had a tactical switch in the defending because they had 4 offensive players and played all in. So it was a tactical change, nothing else.
Speaking of tactics, how well did you feel today, your switches between a 3 at the back, a 4 at the back, a 5 at the back? How effective was that?
Yeah, it was very good, but the execution was brilliant. It's never the plan, it's the execution. We attacked in a back 4 and we defended in a back 5. And the guys were so good. I love the execution. I love the commitment and the intensity in it and the concentration level. I mean, it was a fantastic match on the second day of the league. Everybody can be proud. I mean, everybody who was here is for sure happy that they observed a match like this.
You said it's a game of emotions. Did we see that with your 30-yard run down the touchline?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the middle of it, I thought I should not do this. Of course, I'm sorry, but sometimes a match is like gets you totally, and this match totally sucked me in because it was a fantastic effort and it was a brilliant goal and such an effort after the undeserved equalizer. And I thought, it was pure joy, but of course it may offend other people on our opponents, but of course they did the same, and when they equalized, it's not such a big deal.
There's a lot of needle between these two teams, isn't there? There's bad feeling.
Yeah, okay. I mean, guys, be honest. You report for days and days and days about this. How big a derby is this, and how long did they not win here? So you're in the middle of it, no? So you cannot be surprised when then it's an emotional game. I mean, it's Tottenham at Chelsea, and that's what it is.
Do you concur with that? Having played in many of these, there is something spicy about it, isn't there?
No, of course, it's we know how important this game is, and obviously, like correctly said, the newspaper make it even more important because they keep talking about it. But I was interested in what he said, and I completely agree with him. I think the plan of the game was good, but what was very good today was the execution of the plan. Chelsea players were so committed, they're so focused, they did everything 100%, and they didn't, made a mistake. So I understand his frustration that he saw such a performance not finish with a victory. But on the other hand, sometimes football can be cruel. Other teams that don't play as well as you, and they can get a result. Sometimes even more than that. And fair enough, like Glenn said. Or should I call my colleague? like Glenn said today, I think Tottenham showed that he has more depth, and this depth can be vital, especially in games like this where something is not going well, and you can bring players like the players that they brought on, and they can change. The delivery in the goal from Perisic was unbelievable. It was very, very good, and so it makes a big difference when you have players on the bench that can come and can change the game.
Let's go back to Thomas Tuchel's strong opinions there.
Yeah.
First of all, on 1-1, he says a clear foul in the build-up on Kai Havertz. Now, it was 44 seconds before the goal was scored.
Yeah, a lot of things happened afterwards, but for me, Bentancur just gets a little touch on the ball. He really does. If you watch it clearly, he just gets that little touch on the ball, which allows him. There's no other thing wrong with that. He wasn't gone over the top of the ball. He hasn't gone high. He just gets the slightest touch. And if he doesn't get the touch, there, you can see plainly, he just wins it. Now, in the emotion and then when it's in live action, you'd imagine that's a foul. But when we're looking at it now, I'm sure Tuchel, when he looks at it, might say, well, actually, I was a bit harsh there. And for me, it was a good tackle. Then they break away and they end up getting.
And he's unhappy with Richarlison in the goalkeeper's line here.
Well, I don't agree here, because if he's 5 yards outside from in front of the goalkeeper, I could understand. There is such a distance. The distance between the shot, which isn't a great shot from Højbjerg, he drags it a bit. He's in the line, yes, but there's a lot of distance for that ball to travel across and for him to Dave. Look, watch Mendy's reaction. He's not thinking about anyone in front of him. Watch him after the ball goes in. He's annoyed with himself, or he's annoyed with no one closing, like most goalkeepers do, closing it down from the edge of the box. But as it goes by him, he gets up and he's not happy. It's not because of Richarlison. Richarlison is stepping away. He's not trying to touch the ball. He's actually stepping away with 2 feet. And the distance for me has got to be much closer. And there's when's the second bout between Conte and Tuchel? I want to buy a ticket.
It's box office, anyway. Gianfranco, from a Chelsea point of view, has he got a point on either of those? Thomas Tuchel, on the foul or on Richarlison's eye line?
Yeah, of course. He is, from his point of view, he sees his team playing so well, and he sees the team twice that they've been equalised in those situations that from the pitch you might say, well, they are at least doubts. So I can understand his point. I'm not sure that he's totally right, because they are, I would say, maybe 51-49, both of them, because after that you saw them very well with the camera. You might say maybe the referee was right in both cases, but I can understand. From the touchline, it's so easy to be upset and to believe in that.
And this is 40 odd seconds later, and for me, that's gone and that's done and dusted.
Chelsea have had the ball again.
Yeah, the Chelsea have had the ball, all them sort of things. But for me, Richarlison's not trying to take an advantage there. It's the distance between Mendy. If you're going to go down that line, Sterling was in front of Lloris for Koulibaly's goal. And he's he's in play, if you like. And you don't really want to see goals disallowed for things like that from that distance. And Richarlison, he must have been 8 or 9 yards away from the keeper. I don't think he's interfered with play whatsoever. He's actually trying to say, I'm just going to stand here, and he pulls his legs together, and he's not trying to take an advantage at all. So I disagree with Tuchel on that one, on both of them, but that's the way he's going to see it at this moment in time. And if it was the other way around, Conte would be saying the same.
And his third gripe, Gianfranco, I know we've seen it, but let's just go back to it. He was quite clear. His quote was, "You cannot pull someone's hair on a football pitch." That was in reference to Cucurella. Has he got a point or not?
Yeah, as I told you, yes, he might have a point, but again, as I said, in England, situations like that, the referee never gives a foul, because there are two players that are just hugging each other, they're holding each other, and yes, in the end, Cucurella goes down, but the referee never gives it. It happens to me so many times, and it's just a constant thing. They never give it these situations.
It's a great ball in, though, isn't it?
That's a delivery.
Oh, it's a great delivery, because you said Perisic is so two-footed. He took a corner a minute ago with his right foot out here, so, and this is an example. It's a lovely little touch from Harry. Whether it's going wide or not, it comes off James. But my point is here about the squad getting stronger. Yeah. Son goes off. Son's the corner taker for Tottenham. He has been last season and this season particularly. So right foot, left foot, wherever he is, he takes all the corners. He's not on the pitch. It took him off. Now Perisic comes on and probably up the ante. His quality of the corners, both sides, left foot and right foot, got better. And that's been the difference. Harry can't put that ball in the back without that quality of pace coming in with a bit of dip. And they're the sort of things that you think as a manager, yeah, we've improved our squad.
But also, I mean, when you get points like this, in situations like this, difficult ones, it gives you so much confidence. You know that you can go in places like Chelsea or maybe Liverpool or City or others, and you can rely on these things, and they can make you get a point or maybe even more than that. So this is a great confidence for all the team, for sure.
Thomas Tuchel was delighted with all the performances for Chelsea. In particular, you two have picked out Reece James. Not just his goal, but his all-round play in different positions today, Gianfranco.
No, it's been unbelievable. I would say probably the best player on the pitch, in my opinion. Loftus-Cheek was good as well, but Reece was unbelievable. Not only for the attention that he put defensively, but also the quality when he had the ball. He delivered a couple of balls in the box that were very good, and the goal as well. So it's, a very mature performance for a very, very mature player.
I think that's why Tuchel was really happy with his performance of his team, because he adjusted it. He saw Son as the danger, so he's had to adjust defensively, and he said, you go and follow him, you go in and go and follow him. This is the ball in from Loftus-Cheek. Now that's the bit I'm saying, it's a great ball and a clinical finish. We just pick up Son here. This is where they've gone into a 4-4-2. He's gone past the ball before he knows who's won the ball. Tottenham give it away. As a midfield player in a 4, he's used to playing as a more of a striker, as more up front. He's gone past the middle of the ball. He's left Davis 2v1. You have to wait for the game to develop on the other side of the pitch when they're playing in a 4. So if Richarlison keeps control and Spurs come out of it, then you break forward. And now Reece James, who ends up scoring the goal, is out of position. He's got to get himself back. So Son actually thought we're in possession, and he's gone past the line of the ball. Suddenly, they've lost possession. That's where it was so easy that 2v1 happened so quickly. Davis has to go into Sterling, and the extra man's there. And what a finish from Reece James.
Yeah, very good finish, wasn't it?
No, brilliant finish. But the game, for me, this is the best quality of Chelsea. I've said it last year, and I've said it 2 years ago. Is the ability to press the opposition in their own half with a lot of players and with a lot of intensity. And then they get the ball, and within 2 or 3 seconds they are going to take a shot. If you remember 2 years ago, they killed Real Madrid with these tactics. I do remember very well that both games, they were unbelievable in doing that, and they kept the same mentality, the same attitude, and the same execution since. And you can see when you play games like this, it's not just having the control of the ball, but it's also taking the control of the opposition, which they did very well today against Tottenham. That's where, in my opinion, Tottenham will have to look at the game and improve, because, play games like this, you need to have more the ball, more in control. You need to dictate more than they did today.
And you can't blame the front players. You really can't. It's about the midfield players and the wing backs receiving the ball on the half turn, making angles. Benton Kerr was quiet today. Højbjerg were too square. Be square defensively and work together as a unit defensively. But you've got to come off angles. You've got to be on angles when your back players have got the ball and making space. Then Harry Kane can drop in. Then Son can come into different areas. They played in straight lines and they didn't have that player that says, I'm marked, but give me the ball in that midfield area. It doesn't matter. No one was. That's where they missed that sort of creative player, if you like. When, all right, Ericsson, when he was at Tottenham and last year at Brentford, was prepared to get the ball on the angle. They looked too straight. They were too basic, too in blocks, and the back players had nowhere to go. Now, if you're finding you're playing like that and you can't get out, for me, you've got a great target man. Let Harry Kane drop in a little bit and occupy the centre backs and drop some balls. You can't have it both ways. You can't press bodies forward and have a shield against your centre backs. So drop a few balls in. Drop into Harry Kane. Harry Kane was so deep defensively, there was no outlet ball. So sometimes in a game, or you plan that way, get up against the centre-backs, we'll drop one in and take out 8 or 9 players with one pass.
You need to mix your game. Yeah,
mix the game up, yeah.
Correct.
OK, let's nip back to Stamford Bridge. Sean Wright-Phillips has been there all day for us. What was the end inside the stadium, Sean?
It was electric. I think the managers added to that as well throughout the whole game. They've been jumping up and down, shouting at the referees, getting at each other pretty much the whole game. So to see it boil over the way it did wasn't a surprise to me.
Can you believe Chelsea haven't won the game?
Yeah and no. I think that the balls that came in from Perisic were fantastic deliveries. I think Glenn said it perfectly, that Chelsea got a mark up. It was kind of a free header, but the delivery was spot on. And if you give them sort of balls in and Harry Kane's ran, he will get on the end of them.
And in terms of conceding so late on, you saw what it did on the touchline as well. Nothing worse for the home team in this fixture.
Yes, definitely, Steve. They'll be devastated and they'll be kicking themselves in the change room because they know in that position they're going to look at that as a 3 points loss.
What do you think from Tottenham's point of view, to not play as well as they have done and still get something from the game?
I think they showed their resilience, to be honest with you, today, because I was actually surprised in the way Spurs actually played the game. I thought their aggression wasn't there. I thought that low block wasn't really helping them, and Chelsea pretty much dictated the whole of the first half. And the change was, for me, when Richarlison comes on and he plays that 4-2-4, and I thought things started to open up then.
Yeah, Glenn, you have to give Antonio Conte credit for that, because as you rightly said, he rarely goes away from that formation, does he?
He rarely goes away from it, and I'd imagine those players haven't really played in that shape that many times. Whether he's used it in pre-season, in a second half of a game, and said, like, well, this is what we do if we need to chase the game a bit more. But there's a few things the second goal comes from them not playing that shape, I think, when we see Son's position. But no, credit to them. It was about getting more bodies up the pitch. Sean, I felt there at the stadium, Tottenham couldn't get through the pitch. They couldn't get through Chelsea. They pressed them so well, particularly in the first half.
It definitely was the case. I was watching, and Kane, Son and Kulusevski, they couldn't really get on the ball. And then any time the ball did come to him, it was quite a straight ball. So Silva, Reece James and Koulibaly just came straight through the back of him and lost the ball. So it kept breaking down a lot. It was only until, like I said, that change in system where he took a gamble, where the spaces started to create and they could get in behind.
But Chelsea still had joy at that stage, didn't they? Went 2-1 up, were on top, as you say, had control of the game.
No, absolutely, because I think Chelsea today, compared to Tottenham, they had a better quality with the ball, but above all, they were unbelievable pressing high. Everybody was so committed to pressing Tottenham's players. They never allowed them to have confidence with the ball from the beginning. And the second goal is the same example. You know, they press high, they got the ball, and because of that, they didn't allow Tottenham to get reorganized, and they caught them exposed. So that is one quality that Chelsea has got, and he has shown also in the past. Last year, 2 years ago, for me, it was the best quality that they show. The ability to press high the pitch, get balls, and play short counterattacks. They've been unbelievable, and today they've shown it again.
I think one thing Thomas Tuchel, once he calms down a little bit in his staff room, will reflect on that game, is that I still think he needs a clinical goal scorer. I think today those chances, I think he'll come away thinking we created a lot. if we get that clinical finisher, because Havertz is a good player, there's no doubt about it, but the ball that when Reece James put that cross in, a clinical finisher, that's in the back of the net. And the great strikers that Chelsea have had over the years, you know, I think he's going to come away from it all when the emotions calm down and say, we still need a striker, we need that clinical man. The rest will chip in, your Sterlings and your Havertz and all them Mounts, they all score goals, but they need someone that is really going to go in there, and you know, chances like that, it's going to be in the back of the net.
Would you go along with that, Sean?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Myself, though, I would give Brozier a run of games and see what he strings together, because I think the position Chelsea are in now, playing him, they're not really losing much because they don't have that anyway. So to put him in there, I think he would get them a few more goals and maybe boost his confidence and maybe be that player that Chelsea are actually looking for.
Well, I'm sorry, you apologize me, but I have to go counter against the river, if I can say, Sean. Sorry. Yes, probably they're gonna score more if they have a main striker like Lukaku last year, but they're gonna create less chances because the way he likes to play, he wants to have players that they are able to hold the ball, to switch positions between the strikers, and that's the reason why sometimes they create a lot of chances. I don't think they will be looking for another goal scorer or a proper striker that stays in the middle and occupies the space and stays there. I don't think is what Tuchel wants. And
so you couldn't
believe
see
it or not,
somebody
I believe he's right.
You couldn't see somebody like Aubameyang, who's being linked, coming in realistically to Chelsea before the window closes then?
I'll tell you what, Aubameyang is different because he can play in the middle, but he can play also in wide area. He's a little bit more mobile than a
so
classic.
you might see a body come in, but not a number 9. That's what you're saying.
No, I don't think it will happen.
I think he wants movement.
Yes.
What I'm saying, that the chances that were created when those crosses are coming in, somebody that's going to be on the move going in, not standing like Lukaku used to stand for a long time in the edge of the box, and he wanted the ball into his body. Brozier, I think what Sean was saying, I understand that, but with the window coming, I don't think you'll see Tuchel put his hat on Brozier at the moment. Maybe if it goes past the window, he doesn't go back out on loan. That depends on whether somebody else comes in. Now, if Aubameyang comes in, I agree with Gianfranco. He likes to drift out a little bit, so then Havertz could come in and float in. But he is a goal scorer. He loves to get in behind the back of defenders. For those crosses, you could see him scoring a hatful. Actually, and he did so well with Tuchel at Dortmund. He really did. And in some sort of way, Tuchel sort of likes his... What is he? Well, he's
maverick?
Maverick. Let's not say a bad apple. He's a maverick. He wants to be himself. He just wants to do what he wants to do. As long as he's putting the ball in the back of the net, Tuchel says...
Where are you on Aubameyang? Could you see that finally, Sean?
I could see it happening. It'd be a strange one for me for that to happen. But like Glenn said, he's going to score bags of goals. So it's one thing Chelsea are needing, and he drifts out, and he's very mobile. So I have to agree with Glenn there.
Thanks for your company today.
Thank you for yours.